Hello my dear Photoshop magicians, how's life? So recently I created this magnificent artwork. As you can see, we got this beautiful clouds here, and octopus thing is just getting out from the clouds and getting ready to catch her. Wow, looks pretty scary but also beautiful at the same time. And I got tons of comments from people asking me to create a tutorial for this, and also many messages to my inbox of people telling me, do a tutorial, create a tutorial, create a tutorial. And okay, finally I'm doing it. But to be exact, this is going to be more like an art process where I will tell you what I did in every step. So to be able to follow this art process, you need to have at least some basic knowledge of Photoshop. And let me just remind you that if you want to be able to create artworks like this, and these are some of the artworks from my students, I actually have classes where you can start learning for free. If you just go to learnfromfred.com, here you will see an offer which gives you a 14-day free trial to access all of my classes. And by all classes, I mean many cool artworks, projects, animations. Actually, there are over 60 of them here that you can create. Of course, you can also just take the basic Photoshop course, Master Photoshop from Zero to Pro. And then after that, you can go and take all of the other amazing classes here. You can get the classes on their own, or you can start with a 2-week free trial. I don't know for how long I will keep the free trial, so hurry up. It all starts with this beautiful image that was created by this guy here, Ali Chubin. It's always very important to give the photographer credits, and I will put the link for this image in the description of the video. Next, I just went to filter and camera raw filter, and camera raw filter is used to edit the colors, and that's exactly what I did here, as you can see. So here you can see all the parameters that I have selected. Some of the main ones is decreasing the contrast, because I saw that the contrast here is too much. For example, if you look at this image, it's too dark. I wanted to add a little bit of light to the image. I also increased the vibrance, to make it a little bit more colorful. Now if we go to color mixer, here what we basically do is we control the tone of every color. So for example, if you look at yellows, as you can see, I can make the yellows greenish, or I can make them really yellow. And then oranges, I can make them really yellow, or a little bit of more pinky orange color. And we can play with this in general. Or for example, if you look at the skies here, you see blues, I can make them purple, or I can make them cyan. So we can do many things. And at last, the color grading panel, where I just gave the midtones a little bit of bluish color, and if I change it, as you can see, it's a big change. I made the shadows also a little bit light blue, and I didn't touch the highlight. You can just copy all the numbers that I had here for similar effect if you want to recreate this. Next step is to add this beautiful cloud. These are some of the cool images that I got for the clouds, and I usually get them from Envato elements. And for example, here I can just go to 3D, and I can type clouds and or cloud. And the cool thing is that I can click on any cloud here that I want, and I can actually get the image in different angles. So for example, if I click view 360 render, I can rotate this and actually download the image or even the PSD file in any angles that I want. So that's pretty cool. But the problem is that this is a paid service, so unfortunately I cannot share with you these images. Guys, there's an update to this video that you need to know before we continue. In this project, I use different clouds and octopus images, and the thing is that I actually bought these images, so I bought the license for them to use in my project, and I saw that I cannot share these images with you. But I contacted the website, and they told me that I can actually share the images with you if you want to use them on this specific project. So you can just find the link for the images in the description. The reason why this is important, because in the video I will be constantly telling you that I cannot share the images with you and so on, but apparently I can. Now every time I tell you that I cannot share the images with you, okay, don't listen to that, because I can actually share them with you. And now we can continue. If you're planning to register for Envato Elements, and you will have to pay anyway because they don't have a free trial or anything like that, then make sure to use the link that I put in the description, because that would help me a bit. I would get a small commission for that, and that would be a great support for my channel. So what I did here, basically I started to insert the clouds one by one. As you can see, I'm just inserting the images, boom 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 boom, and obviously it's not that easy. I did this already before, that's why it's going to look like they match well. But originally when you start inserting them, you actually have to place them correctly. And also, as you can see here, for example, I have to delete some of the parts because sometimes they have shadows and I don't want to see the shadows. For example, here if you look, if I turn off the mask, as you can see, we have a shadow here which is on top of another cloud, which obviously doesn't look realistic. So that's why I need to delete the shadows. And let me just continue turning on all the clouds that I have here. Boom, 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 boom. So once I added all the clouds, and also originally this is how it was, I had to make sure I get rid of the clouds from the places where I don't need them. Again, I just used simple mask for that. So for example, if you look, this is what I did basically. I had to cut out the goal and also some other parts. I also have to cut out a little bit of the from the steps and also from here. So let me just turn on my mask, and boom, once I added the mask, this is how it was looking. The clouds were already behind the goal because all of them are inside the group, and this group has a mask which is restricting them from going on top of the goal. So next step was a little bit interesting. If you look at this layer, it's just a layer of clouds, but this layer was actually created using Photoshop only. So let me just show you. For example, if I just open new layer, and let's say I need to think what colors do I want for my clouds. So for example, I want them to be white and maybe dark blue. So let's see, like this. Yeah, this is fine. So white and this bluish color. And then I just go to filter, render, and if I now go to clouds, it's going to automatically create clouds from these two colors, and voila. So this is pretty easy, and that's exactly what I did here with this. As you can see, I just added it, but then I had to change the blending mode to soft light, basically to make it blend with the previous clouds very well. And for example, before, after, I think now they look much more realistic. Also, I didn't like that here some of the places are very dark. So what I did basically is I added a brightness contrast layer, so boom, but then I had to make sure it only appears on the dark places. So again, I added the mask, and if you look, it only appears on the dark places here. So before, after. Next step was to start coloring the clouds, and here you can do many things. For example, you can just add a solid color fill and change its blending mode, for example, from normal, where it's just pink, to some other modes, and blend it well. So for example, here I choose saturation. Then I have here hue saturation layer. Again, I can just, if I just double click here, I can actually just change the colors to anything that I want, which is pretty cool. And the last one, color fill. This one I did actually to create the colors only from the dark places. So for example, if I turn this on, just look closely on the dark places. If I turn this on, boom, you see we have this purple color only on the dark places. How did I do this? Why it's not affecting the whole image? Let me show you, my dear friends. First of all, let's put it to normal blending mode. This is how it was supposed to look originally. But if I right click, but you see here this small icon, this means that there have been some modifications. If I right click here on the empty place and go to blending options, here on the blending options you will see this blend if section. And here we see that it's saying blend if, for example, this layer or underlying layer is specific colors. So for example, you see here I have these pointers, and let me just show you how this works. For example, if I move this totally to the right, as you can see, it's not blending, nothing is happening, it's taking the whole place. Let me just move it a little bit below. So now I need to choose first of all blend if underlying layer, because I want to blend these colors with the underlying layer if only at the places where underlying layer is black, or it's dark basically. Everywhere where it's really bright, I don't need to show it. So that's what I do here. For example, you see white color. If I just start moving this white to the left, as you can see, we start getting rid of these purple colors everywhere where we have the clouds really white. It only appears on the places where the clouds are a little bit darker. So it's looking bad, it's very edgy, right? It's not smooth at all. So that's why what I can do here actually, if I move this to the right, I can hold here Alt if you're using Windows, or if you're using Mac, it's Option. If I hold Alt or Option only on one of the pointers, I can actually separate them and drag them. And look what's going to happen now, it's actually much smoother. And if I drag this, now we're going to see it only on the dark places instead of the bright places. So I can actually move it also a little bit to the left to control this, and voila. And let me, for example, just click OK for now. And if we just now look before, after, it only appears in the dark places. Let me actually go back because I don't remember. Yeah, okay. So this is how it was. Also, if I just choose here, for example, different blending modes, I can actually play with them pretty well. So if I choose color, boom. Next step, we have the shadows. You probably hate them or love them. So because it's not that easy to create them, but sometimes they make your artworks look really nice. First of all, I wanted to create some shadows here on the steps. What is this thing called? Yeah, on the stairs. Sometimes I forget the easiest words. The way I did it is very simple. You just create a new layer, you take brush tool, and you make sure you have here black color selected. And now, for example, if I just reduce the opacity and also flow, I can actually start here, you know, creating the shadows very, very slow. Okay, let me just increase the opacity a bit, otherwise it's too slow. Okay, as you can see, we start making this darker, and I can actually draw shadow here pretty cool, like this. So, and this is exactly what I did here. Boom, the shadow. I also added the shadow here, as you can see, boom, to the lower part. And now I look at this and I'm like, this looks pretty cool, but something is missing. And boom, more colors. What do I mean by that? For example, if you go here, you will see that I added here color, solid color. And if I turn it on, as you can see, it's affecting this place. So basically it's making it pink, and it's basically a solid color with overlay blending mode, and this looks pretty cool already. I also play here a bit with the shadows, because once the shadows go below the clouds, you are not supposed to see them, so that's why I just removed them a little bit. And also, if you look at this shadows, the problem here is that this shadow is reddish, but this one is not. So what I did, I added color overlay to this one as well, and now it's reddish as well. The way you do that is very simple. You just right click here, go to blending option, and then blending options, you just choose color overlay, you choose the color that you want, and voila, you can make it any other color. I don't know, a green, blue, and now it's green, as you can see. So yeah. So now as the last step, we have these two really cool octopus, I don't know, what is this, hands, legs, like, I don't know what this is, but yeah. It belongs to Octopus, we definitely know that. And I also got them from Envato. So for example, if I just type here Octopus on 3D, and I will get here different octopuses. And for example, if I just click on this one, I can choose view 360 render. I can download this from any angle that I want and use it in my project. How cool is that? Again, if you want to register for Envato Elements, make sure to use the links that I provide in the description. That will support my channel a lot. And for those of you who don't want to do this, and you're looking for free alternatives, unfortunately there are not so many free alternatives, because this is really cool, and I don't know if you can find anywhere anything like that for free. But we could try to search on Unsplash, for example, for octopus, and you can try to find an image that fits, and cut the octopus, for example, from here, cut it, or I don't know, cut it from here or anywhere else, and add to your image. Other two places where you can search for free stuff is freepik.com or pexels.com. I really hope this will help you. So anyway, I added this octopus thing is here. This is image number 1, and obviously it also had shadows, and I had to get rid of it. Not only shadows, but also I had to make sure it fits in the clouds. And I just used mask here, so this is actually not that difficult to do, and the same goes for the second octopus thingy. So just to show you, how easy this is, I will just show it to you quickly how easily you can actually do this. Make sure it fits inside. If I just do a little bit like this from here, just do it from here, here, and boom, it already looks like it's coming from inside. So pretty easy, right? And the last step was to add a little bit of shadows here, just because it's over the stairs. This one is not really here, it's more like still inside the clouds because it's leaning back, but this one is actually over the stairs. That's why I had to add some shadows there as well. So whenever I finish my artworks, almost finish, I do one last thing. I take everything that I have here, just everything, all of this, click on this one, and then I hold shift and click on the last one. So basically I select all of the layers, I click right button and choose convert to smart object, because when we do that, it takes everything and converts it into one object. And let me show you why I do that. Once it converts it into a smart object, this is what you get. So you basically get the whole image in one layer, and the reason why I did that is that so I can go and edit the colors again one last time. So basically I just go to filter and camera raw filter again to edit the colors. And here you can basically do many things, it depends on your taste. For example, you may like this option more than this option, because here, as you can see, everything is very, very smooth. And the way I did this so smooth is basically, if I just go to basic, here I have this texture and clarity. If I, for example, just decrease the texture, as you can see, it's very, very smooth. Or for example, if I go to details and I increase noise reduction, it's also going to be really, really smooth. So there are many things that you can do in order to make the artwork look very smooth, and depending on what exactly you like, you can experiment with that. You can also play with the colors and with all the other things. As you can see, I have here different options, this one, and this one. And if you want to create this one, because it's a little bit different, so what I did is basically, if I just, once I have camera raw filter here, if I just double click here, boom, boom, on this place, this helps us to blend the smart filters with the image. So for example, if I just go here to normal blending mode, and I go to screen, and voila, look at this. Now it's very, very soft and pretty cool. Just click OK and boom. And that's it for the artwork, my dear friends. I will put a playlist with many other artworks that I've also created specifically for you so that you can learn cool Photoshop tricks and create them as well. Make sure to check out my classes at learnfromfred.com and start your totally free trial. Love you. Bye bye.